for later. So you can share it with people. This one, the first Thursday of the month, is my free public event about a spiritual practice or a topic to get us started. And then we have closed events, care circles, and aroma freedom in the rest of the month that are exclusive for Soul Care Sanctuary members. So without further ado, let me show you what I've been working on today and this week. Let me go back to the very beginning because I had to jump ahead. Okay. So we're going to start with a little look at gratitude and some research that's out there and why a spiritual practice of gratitude can be good for your health, literally good for your health. I'm missing one book that I wanted to reference some research from. So let me grab that super quick. My dog was like, "Oh, are you leaving? Are we done?" No, we're not done. Okay. All right, so let's get started. Quick introduction of me. Many of you know my story. I started out as a teacher when I graduated college in 1999. Life path shifted in 2012 when I went through a divorce with a 5-year-old and a 7-year-old. And I needed to start my Young Living business to make money in part-time hours because my teaching salary wasn't cutting it. And so out of that, that time of abundance, I chose to follow my passion to become a spiritual director / spiritual coach in 2016. Over the years, I've presented locally and nationally. I just got remarried in 2020 to Jerry, and we have 3 teenagers and 1 20-year-old together. And currently, I'm deeply grieving the life of my mom. So that's just a little bit about me, and you can see some of my principles and values and just my vibe at my website. A quick disclaimer, I am a certified aroma freedom practitioner and an aspiring life coach, also spiritual director. So just know that when we work together, I want to make sure that the people in your life and you in particular are safe. And so please know that anything that is shared outside of or in our community does require me to name a mandatory reporting law to report abuse. And then also in regards to Young Living, we're going to talk a little bit at the end about how you can use oils and scents to sort of shift your emotional center. And truly, our oils community was founded to help teach other families to be empowered on their own wellness journey. So we offer education and events related to that because to us, the lifestyle, the family, and then our health and wellness are some of the most key building blocks for success and fulfillment, really, more than anything. That was me and Jerry. So especially this month, especially October, felt particularly heavy. So I pulled some photos that represented heaviness to me. Short of posting a graphic video and photos of war, we've seen those in our social media feeds. We've noticed that as time has gotten closer to the holidays, we could feel pulled in a lot of different directions. We could be fighting with friends and family. Perhaps with a spouse. Perhaps there are times in your life, in particular with the school, or not the school shooting, but the mass shooting in Maine, that impacted you in a negative way. Matthew Perry's death has impacted a lot of people because of who he was and the journey that he was on. And so when the world is heavy, especially when the world is heavy, we know that there is a great, what Scott Peck terms a great truth. Life is difficult. And that is a great truth. It is a great truth because once we truly see this truth, then we can transcend it. And he wrote the book, The Road Less Traveled, way a long time ago, I think in the 70s, A New Psychology of Love, Traditional Values, and Spiritual Growth. And I just think there's something to be said for the healing that comes in transformation or transcendence. I've referenced Brene Brown's book a couple different times. If you can, I don't know if you can see me on your little screen, but this is Atlas of the Heart. And this book is kind of a encyclopedia of feelings based on definitions that Brene has cultivated from her years of research and other people's research as she has, she studies qualitative research. And so particularly shame and vulnerability, but that has led into a lot of areas. And so tonight, our topic is gratitude. And she classifies gratitude under the section, the places we go when life is good. The places we go when life is good. And I want to just share the other side of that. Also, when the world is heavy, we can choose. We have the privilege to choose. We have the honor of choosing to go to a place where life is good. It's not always the same for everybody. So many different words for gratitude. I thought this video shared them well. The Robert A. Emmons, you want to write his name down? We're going to talk a lot about his research and work today. But Robert A. Emmons, EMMONS, is the world's leading scientific expert on gratitude. He is a professor of psychology at UC Davis, and he's the founding editor-in-chief of the Journal of Positive Psychology. He's also the author of the book, Thanks, How the New Science of Gratitude Can Make You Happier. So what we know is that research on emotions show that positive emotions wear off quickly. Our emotional systems like newness. They like something that feels new and is new. They like novelty. They like change. We adapt to positive life circumstances so that before too long, the new car, the new spouse, the new house, they don't feel so new and exciting anymore. But gratitude makes us appreciate the value of something. And when we appreciate the value of something, we extract more benefits from it, and we're less likely to take it for granted. So gratitude allows us to participate more in life. We notice the positives more, and that magnifies the pleasures that you get from life as well. So gratitude encourages us to become greater participants in our life, as opposed to just being spectators. That's some of his, what he's found to be true in his research on gratitude. This quote from David Whyte, the poet David Whyte, I found particularly meaningful. Gratitude is the understanding that many millions of things come together and live together and mesh together and breathe together in order for us to take even one more breath of air. That the underlying gift of life and incarnation as a living, participating human being is a privilege. That we are miraculously part of something rather than nothing. Even if that something is temporarily pain or despair, we inhabit a living world with real faces, real voices, laughter, the color blue, the green of the fields, the freshness of a cold wind, or the tawny hue of a winter landscape. And there's so much description in his poetic way of talking about it that truly it's just calling to mind for me how rich and blessed we are to exist in this infinitely in this finite world beyond what we can typically see. So there are some mental, physical effects of gratitude, and I want to give you this. These are research-based benefits, and this comes from this book by Ann Kurtz. Ann Kurtz-Kernion. It's called Spiritual Practices for the Brain, and I love that it's rooted in science because I think it helps people. It helps people quantify, right? Like, that's great that you want to be grateful. And people, I think positive psychology has gotten a bad rap, and it's turned into toxic positivity where we, just pretend that everything is okay instead of really being truthful and authentic about our current experience. Gratitude doesn't ask us to forget what pain we have. It asks us to transcend the pain that we have and truly embrace a gratitude attitude, an attitude of gratitude. So number one, interesting that you were talking about walking earlier, Lucinda, because gratitude actually can make you more likely to exercise. According to the Journal of Personality and Social Psychology, people who keep gratitude journals reported fewer health complaints, spent more time exercising, and had fewer symptoms of physical illness. How about that? Gratitude improves the quality, except for my spelling, of the quality of your sleep. And this was a study conducted at the University of Manchester and published in a journal of psychosomatic research, that when we focus on gratitude and thankfulness, that it can also result in longer sleep hours. So Mickey, I know from this weekend that you could use some longer sleep hours. That would be good. Number three, gratitude increases your emotional well-being. This comes from the Journal of Research and Personality. Gratitude leads to lower depression and higher levels of social support, while making you less likely to consider suicide. And I think at this point, I want to just insert what Brené said in this Atlas of the Heart book, because I think it was a good footnote. She said, gratitude is not a cure for anything, and we need to be wary of any single practice or approach that's sold as fixing or curing complex mental health issues, even though it's shown in that journal and in that one study to have effective trends. Brené says, gratitude is a practice that can enrich our lives in meaningful ways. But in the world of mental health and social emotional learning, we have to be really careful when we talk about anything related to curing. So be conscious of that as we talk about gratitude today. Obviously, address underlying issues and mental illness that threatens to harm you or somebody else. Number four, gratitude makes your heart stronger and healthier. This research was done at Massachusetts General Hospital, and the presence of gratitude in a patient could independently predict superior cardiovascular health. Other researchers find that a regular gratitude practice helps lower inflammation, blood pressure, produces calm by activating the parasympathetic system, increases resilience to disease and trauma, and helps maintain cardiac health. Pretty cool, right? And last but not least, gratitude can make you a more effective leader. This was a study at Wharton for business leaders who practice gratitude. They have employees who feel more valued, have higher job satisfaction, are motivated to do their best, and have better work relationships. Feeling grateful also increases our desire to persevere toward future goals. I love how quickly and easily she summarized those. So thank you to Anne for giving us words to the research that's out there on these effects of gratitude. All right, so real quickly, I won't spend a lot of time on this, but 8 ways to become more grateful. All right, number 1, keeping a gratitude journal. So reminding yourself of the gifts, grace, benefits, and good things you enjoy by writing them down. And setting aside time on a daily basis that you can recall moments of gratitude that are associated with just ordinary events in your life. Nothing that had to be outstanding, just I woke up, I took my first step without pain. I was able to walk to the mailbox without breathing heavily. Whatever those little things are. I did already upload the ebook for the Holiday Survival Guide in the Soul Care Sanctuary, so you don't need to use the QR code if you're in Soul Care. You just go to the documents and resources. Yes, I will do some videos and show you how to access all of this. But you can also, if you have not gotten in Soul Care Sanctuary and you don't have the book yet, I updated a couple of things for 2023 from last year. You can use the QR code to get it from my email list. I'll show you really quickly what my gratitude journals look like. Let me just pull these up really quickly, because I gave you 2 that you can print out from the ebook. The first one, and I talked about this Monday night with Lucinda and Christina, but this one's just a 30 days quick, write down one thing every day that you're grateful for. And then this is a different look at a gratitude journal. I thought these could be printed side by side, like 2 sheets to a page. If you pick your date, talk about what you felt in the morning. What are you choosing to do to ensure today is great? what was your highlight at the end of the evening. If you want to break down what you're grateful for here, as well as a goal or a positive action step, this just has a little bit more detail. Primarily for people who don't already have a journaling practice, this is just a guided journal page to help facilitate more thoughtful response in your day. So some of you I know already do that, so don't feel like I need to do this other thing that Anne recommended. Yeah, you're okay. You got this. All right, let me open this up again. Okay. All right, there we go. Okay, I'm not going to show this right now because I'm short on time, but again, I'll upload the video from Brother Steindl Rast into Soul Care Sanctuary for you to look at later. It's a 5-minute video. Some of you have already seen it about what brings gratitude. This was a photo that my dear, sweet new sister Terry took at the gardens this weekend, and I just thought it just depicted such bright colors, the blue and the yellow and the green, just kind of all coming together. And that was in Encinitas, just down the road from where we stayed together in Carlsbad. All right, this is going to seem counterintuitive, but another way to practice gratitude is to sorry, I'm behind my notes, is to remember the bad. Now, this is really interesting because especially for somebody who's grieving, deeply grieving, remember thinking about this quote, remember the day you prayed for the things you have now. Well, I did not pray to not have my mother. So I'm not really sure if that quote is appropriate for me during this time. But given this, this sensation that we have and this inclination that we have as humans toward what's called hedonic adaptation, this is rooted in the belief that happiness lies outside of the self and that happiness is completely dependent on external factors. So the idea is to consider where you once were in some of your pain, some of your suffering, some of my deeper grief, some of my immobility, my frozenness, how I felt stuck. And then thinking about the people, the things, the choices, the opportunities, the decisions I made to one step at a time move from that place of brokenness to wholeness again. Day-to-day effects of major events continue, and our emotions have to regain a kind of equilibrium. So the hedonic treadmill says we're never satisfied. This is why when we get to buy a new car, we think about, oh, we could have gotten this other car instead. It's something that our brain does automatically, and we have to do regular mindset work in order to pull that back, in order to take stock of that. I also wanted to point out that when you associate sentimental value with an event that happened, then you'll receive more happiness over time. So for example, being able to move past events into the emotional background, it may not be about the pot holder that you have, that you love the pot holder, but you love the memory associated with being with your mom when you made the pot holder. So it's connecting the bad memories to things that you are grateful for. So important just to keep that in mind. Thought that was super fascinating. Okay. There are 2 meditation techniques I want to tell you about tonight. And again, I'll pull all of this out into soul care a little bit differently. But the first one is called the Naikan, which is a Japanese word to look inside or see oneself with the mind's eye and encourage the student to step back and reflect on the life that they're living. So it was introduced into North America, and then a guy named Greg Peck in 2002 learned about Naikan, and so he started using it with people. So instead of the journals that I just gave you, these are other ways that you can meditate on your gratitude for a day. What have I received from a person? These are 3 prompts. What have I given to the world or to my family or to the day? And then 3, what troubles and difficulty have I caused? So just being mindful that maybe I've been the root of some of the difficulties from the day. And then a different version is called the Daily Examine. And this is based in Christian philosophy through Ignatian spirituality. And so I love the graphics I put on you could take a screenshot if you wanted to of these two different meditations. So you can have quick access to what have I given? And I put these in the event on Facebook as well. What trouble have I caused? What have I received? And those three questions reflected on together will elicit a response, a meditative response of gratitude. And then this examine I thought was so cool. It comes from a campus ministry at some Ignatian college. I can't remember at the moment. But to center yourself, pick something you're grateful for today, what brought you joy and what challenged you in your review. How can you turn to God and perhaps have done or said something differently? And what spirit do you want to enter tomorrow? So I've had a lot of spiritual friends over the years that have done a course of examine for 14 days, 30 days, to just help them focus on their relationships more deeply, specifically their relationship with God. So the examine is what that one is. Next, you can learn prayers of gratitude. And again, I just selected ones from the Christian tradition because that's I practice Christian traditions. So Judeo-Christian is more of my background. So using the Psalms like Psalm 23, 34, 103, 118, 136 can really elicit prayers of gratitude. I saw a spiritual writer that I follow on Instagram today. She's doing 30 days of plankfulness, she called it. So she's doing a plank challenge, like 30 seconds a day, and she's reading her scripture while she does it. So she calls it plankfulness. She does a plank and reads a scripture text while she and has her gratitude challenge during her plank. There are other prayers that we can use to give gratitude back to God. I'll put one in our group so that you can access it later. I thought it was really beautiful. And you may have some prayers of gratitude that you learned as a child or things that you said, and you can recall those or teach them to a future generation as well. The next way to practice more gratitude is to come to your senses. Dr. Emmons says, most of us live in a state of anxiety as we try to manage the constant flow of demands and distractions that characterize our fast-paced world. Sometimes I can hardly breathe, and I feel so overwhelmed by what's ahead of me in my day. I wonder how I'm ever going to tick off the ever-growing list of tasks. However, I am noticing more and more how much a greater attention to gratitude can alleviate stress and give me a sense of joy in the midst of my busyness. In fact, several of the authors I read indicated that time scarcity is the number one thing that keeps us from being grateful. We just don't have time to be grateful. We just don't have time to think about what we're thankful for. We just don't have time to send a thank you note. So you guys know from past monthly themes that noticing is really important to me, and noticing through your senses is one of the best ways to just take a breath, take a beat. So how does something smell? How does something sound? What is the feeling? I just love that baby foot on the grass. What is that feeling like? What does it look like to see a vision, a beautiful vision? What tastes good? How are you noticing your senses? Noticing the gratitude for things around you based on your senses. And so bring awareness or awakeness to the present moment. Set an alarm on your phone to go off once an hour and just bring to mind something in that moment that you can touch, taste, feel, smell, hear, that is blessing you, and be grateful for it. So really intentionally noticing with your senses. This one is about using visual reminders. Some of you know that I've posted some pretty personal videos and pictures of me and my mom over the course of the last year, or just my mom. And part of the reason I chose that is because those visual reminders help my healing. Like, they're ways that I hearten my experience by bringing her into the present moment, even though she's no longer here on earth, having her memories close by and using those visual reminders gives me a sense of gratitude for who she was in my life and who she continues to be. And it also helps remind yourself, like, who would I be without my kids or my grandkids? What would life be like if I hadn't met so-and-so? And for example, today is All Saints Day or All Souls Day. I forget which one. One was yesterday, one's today. And that idea is that we bring to mind even our ancestors that have gone before us. People who, and I love how Anne writes this in this book. She says, bring to mind all the people who have contributed to who and where you are today. Bring to mind relatives and ancestors who made sacrifices and endured hardships, who perhaps moved to a foreign land. Their courage, strength, and spirit provide you today with opportunities you would not have had otherwise. Although we will never meet them in person, we can feel connected to them, experiencing deep appreciation for their lives and vision. And you may have old photo albums of those people. And so I've seen a lot more people this year, especially since the movie Coco came out. A lot of people are making ofrendas, which is a beautiful display of old ancestry photos and trinkets, and offering, you know, gifts to the dead, right? Offering treats and things like that to celebrate those that have gone before. She also reminds us to bring into focus any teachers, mentors, and friends who have impacted our lives and taught us how to live and love. And I just think that's such a special way that we use social media to really stay in touch with people, or see a photo of somebody and comment, you know, gosh, you're looking so good, or it's been so long since I've seen you. I'd love to catch up with you soon. But use those visual reminders to stimulate gratitude. Next is to make a vow to practice gratitude. Research shows that making an oath to perform a behavior increases the likelihood that the action will be executed. That's what I love about challenges, right? We're doing a 14-day reset for our health and well-being. So that's why a finite time makes a lot of sense. And a lot of people have been doing gratitude challenges in the months of November for a long time. And so I have one that I'd like to roll out in Heartbeat. I'm trying to make it really easy, and I would like it to drop into your email box so you don't have to look too hard for it, because I know that's a challenge. So I'm trying to make that really easy for you to find, but live out the gratitude that you have. Create gratitude as a habit. Like put a little printout of the exam by your toothbrush. And we're going to talk about, quick aroma boosts that'll help sort of reset your brain. And perhaps one of those affirmations is part of your gratitude habit. And then find accountability with a gratitude partner or a group like the Soul Care Sanctuary, so that we can truly see gratitude lived out. They say happier people are grateful people. Next. This is my last one. Number 8 is to choose your language. So language can look and feel like a lot of different things, but in particular, if you write notes of thanks to people, I've tried to make it a habit this year of at least once or twice a month sending personal mail, or sending a text to let people know I'm thinking of them. Making sure I'm selecting conscious language, that I'm not speaking things like nothing ever goes my way. I always fail at the same thing. I can never do anything right. I really try to be conscious of what I'm saying out loud, so that I'm only speaking life over my life and my world. And then tell somebody how much they mean to you. That can be the best way. One of the best ways to really impact change is by making an effort to let them know. But we have to let go of the mindset of scarcity, like we don't have enough time, or we don't have enough money, or we don't have enough resources or energy, because we're looking for sufficiency. We're looking to be grateful for what we have and what is sufficient. It's knowing that there is enough and that we are enough. And it's truly a consciousness. Sufficiency is an intentional choosing of the way we think about our circumstances. Yesterday, I saw my counselor, and she had a quote up on her wall. I said, I love this. I haven't noticed this before. But she says, we're either choosing it or we're changing it. And I said, that's so true, right? Like, we're either choosing our circumstance or we're changing our circumstance in some respect. And I think that's part of this new mindset, or this gratitude or gratefulness that really goes hand in hand. So thanks for your patience. That's just a quick look at all of the benefits of gratitude, plus 8 ways that you can implement gratitude. Again, do baby steps toward your goals. Do the littlest things that are going to help propel you forward instead of feeling like you have to take on this humongous new thing that's going to impact your life in such a glorious way. The next part of our time together does use essential oils, particularly frankincense, stress away, and lavender, or just frankincense and stress away, or if a different oil catches your eye tonight, use that one. But this is the idea that we're going to get quiet for a few minutes as we close on our session on gratitude. Hopefully this has been helpful to you. We're going to transition toward our inner wisdom. And aroma boost is one of those ways of using our limbic system, using our sense of smell connected to our limbic system to shift some stuck energy that we might have around a particular time or circumstance. It was designed by Dr. Benjamin Purkis, who is a clinical psychologist, who's been an avid essential oils user for himself and his family and his clients. And he realized in I think 2017 or 2018 that he could use oils in a particular step-by-step sequence to help initiate change and push people forward past their blocks into kind of wholeness again. So as you think about gratitude, as you think about coming into the month of November, as you consider kind of what's before you, what's to come, you can say it in the chat or you can just say it out loud. What is your biggest roadblock at the moment? Your biggest roadblock? And what is just continuing to just sort of make you stumble on a daily basis? And it could be some of the things we talked about today. It could be negative mindset. It could be having a time scarcity mentality or feeling grief deeply. But the roadblock that is keeping you from doing something you want to do today, right now. And the way the aroma reset works is that we're going to identify the situation and name a feeling. So whatever the situation is, it could be, there's so many options, right? I mean, exhaustion was brought up before we started, kind of the letdown after a really fun weekend happens to a lot of people. I know, Christina, you're hindered by physical mobility. So a situation that feels overwhelming, frustrating, or confusing to you. It's your roadblock, whatever that roadblock is. And then name the feeling, just one word that describes how you feel about the situation. And this is my favorite feeling chart, although when I showed it to Shay recently, she said, oh, I wish wonder was on there. And she's right. I wish wonder was on there as well. We sometimes forget that we can be curious about something, wonder about it. Then locate the feeling in your body. So if you're feeling rage or angry, if you're feeling guilt, where do you feel it in your body? Next, identify the negative thought that goes with that. So what's the negative messaging that you're telling yourself? For example, it might start with, well, I can't accomplish this, or I don't have the right skills. Just the anticipation of doing it, I start yawning. Everybody knows now. I have lime at my desk, so I'm going to use lime to clear mine. If you don't have essential oils and you're watching this on replay or you're watching this live in the group, I'll just remind you that you can use an herb, an onion, a citrus fruit. My lemon tree is like so heavy with lemons right now. I can't wait for them to ripen and be ready to harvest because they are weighing down the branches. So bring to mind the situation, how you feel about it, where you feel it in your body. Identify a negative thought, and then just take some moments of stillness. Smell the oils. Let your body release what it needs to release. Start to think about what's next. Do you want to repeat the steps? Do you want to move on with your day? Will you join me for our next Aroma Freedom session, like a full session on the 14th? Make little notes to yourself. What did you notice? Do you still feel the same feeling? Did the sensation in your body change? Could you spontaneously come up with some new ideas related to the situation? We're going to do one more round together. Put your oil away. Perhaps the situation has changed. Maybe what you thought it was really something underneath it. You can name the feeling that you have about it. Maybe the feeling has changed. Locate the feeling in your body. Identify a negative thought. Smell essential oils, or an herb, or a citrus fruit. Let your sense of smell, coupled with your brain's activity around the situation, the feeling, place in your body, get to that step 6 where you want to decide what is next. Is there a clear action step forward, maybe for tonight, as you prepare for tomorrow? Definitely write some things down. Patience with yourself. Is there an action that you want to take next, or that you can take next? Related to the roadblock. We're going to work on affirmations and anchors together. Perhaps a visualization came to you while we were quiet there for a moment. Right? Some of those will draw some of those representations. And we're going to anchor it in with oils and a power pose. So a power pose expresses the energy of a statement. So it could be arms up above your head. I'm going to stand. I don't know if y'all can still see me. Okay. So arms up above your head without freaking out my dog. Hands on your hips. Maybe a strong pose. Maybe a gentle pose. But your statement could be, I am enough. I accept my imperfection. I will get 8 hours of sleep tonight. Write down whatever affirmation came to you. And start to think about who you want to tell about that practice. What is it that you can put into action right away to overcome the roadblock? Does it have something to do with tonight, even? With gratitude? Does it have anything to do with being grateful for the skills you do have? The opportunities you do have? Privilege you do hold? These are other ways you can be accountable on a monthly basis. Time blocking, charting your progress, hiring somebody to teach you, and then giving yourself little milestone accomplishments along the way. Remember, in our Soul Care Sanctuary, we're going to come back twice more in November to have a care circle where we each take a moment to reflect on what we're doing. The first one will be Monday, the 6th, coming up Monday at 6 o'clock. And we're going to talk about some of this, like where'd you land with whatever you've shared? Where'd you land with gratitude? Where'd you land with the blocks? And how can we help move you through that together? I also always remind anyone I work with that you can't go back and change the beginning, but you can start where you are and change the ending. If you C.S. Lewis, we must allow for grace in the course of our lives. The ones that are on here with me live tonight are already members of our Soul Care Sanctuary. I'm actually going to keep the founders rate open until the end of the year. I'd like to have more people join the challenge, so I'm working on how to do that in a way that feels honorable. So I'll keep y'all posted on that. The gratitude challenge, hopefully I'll get that sorted out tomorrow. But remember, in the Soul Care group, we do have 2 care circles, Zooms per month. You have an aroma freedom session, which is what we just did on an extended scale. We're going to continue to have engaging posts and conversations. I have some extra collateral that I've uploaded as well, including really fun gratitude conversation starters for your family meals this holiday season. I think they'll be really helpful. Like, what's the most, like, just really sweet ways to initiate a conversation between family members. And then in December, we're going to focus on our breath and how we do breathing. And I'm hoping my friend Heidi will come and join me for some information about breath work in December as well. Aroma Freedom is $35 if you're not in the group, so remember that. The Soul Care Sanctuary does get you a discount to the 2024 retreats. I'm really excited to get those dates published by next week, I'm hoping, so we can start sharing what's going on with that. And then if you need more oils, talk to the person who invited you here tonight and they can help you get connected. The Feelings Kit is another really great group of oils, one of Aaron's favorites. It has present time, forgiveness, inner child, harmony, release, and valor. And so that's a really great, especially if you're doing a lot of healing from the inside out. I feel like the feelings, I've got present time in my diffuser tonight, reminding me to be here now. I think Ram Dass is the first one I heard who said that, who's a spiritual guru that Wayne Dyer followed. And be here now is just a really great reminder to keep our hands on, kind of keep our feet on the ground. And if you did not get the ebook earlier and you're not in Soul Care Sanctuary, you can click on this QR code, use your phone to access it, and then you can download the ebook really simply as well. And that's me. We're elevating journeys, purpose, people, and possibilities. So hopefully tonight has been part of the beginning of your month, a beginning of a month of gratitude, and an incredible opportunity for you to step more fully into who God created you to be, which is always my goal. Sounds like Christina's healing. Lucinda's got some release lemon and RC. That's an interesting combo. It worked great, I bet. Lots of good breathing. So
it was amazing. I'm pretty sure that's what it was, but I had seen it on the Young Living website, and it was like stay calm or something. And I'm like, it was amazing because I've never really diffused the oils. I've used the oils that are in the feelings kit, but I'm like, oh, I have this one. It's in the feelings kit. So I went and got it. I was blown away how good it smelled. And then I had a friend come over. She dropped me off some dinner, and she comes in, she goes, your house smells really nice tonight. And I'm like,
yay, good.
It was really nice to have that. And so
good. I'm so glad. I'm so glad. I'm going to stop our recording so I can say goodnight to you all. I'm also going to